144, hi-ho the Dario, it's podcast 144.
When the kids are counting sheep, when the kids go to sleep, dreams and memories, when the kids go to sleep.
Welcome
I'm knocking
to
in
the
your mic.
Welcome to the podcast, episode
Say, are you
144.
excited to do the podcast?
You're so not good at it. You're not as good as me at being annoying.
so
Let me
good.
show you.
You're gonna break my chair. I was going for a non-chair breaking moment.
Did you see that? That was a mic prattle. Welcome to the podcast. It's episode 144 of When the Kids Go to Sleep.
Hair's all skitty wampus now.
Oh, watch your language.
Skitty wampus.
This is a kid podcast.
Oh, what?
Jeepers.
There's other people in the room.
So thanks, we're back. Here we are, When the Kids Go to Sleep. This is our podcast. I'm Shay, this is Colette. We have been married for 13 years.
Almost
we have
13 years.
5 kids and a little bit of life experience. Not a bunch, but just enough to make us sound naive and stupid.
Wait, what?
I don't
know.
know.
Wait, yep, I guess we do.
Sometimes if you have, like, there's a level of knowledge sometimes I think that just makes you dangerous, where you think you know stuff, but you're not really there yet, but like you think you're there, so you start going off about being there, but it's like, whoa.
You're not there.
Yeah.
Do you think we're there?
Here's the great wisdom in life. The smarter you get, the more you realize that you don't know nothing.
Oh, that's a good point.
I think that's what we work so hard to attain, is that we just don't know.
We don't know.
Right?
What was that?
That's a gun going off. That's a small cannon.
For real?
Yeah, Dad, in case you're shooting the guns up.
Oh, well, you could have warned me about that.
Oh, there are large rifles that will be going off during this podcast.
My goodness.
Could you hear it? I wonder if they could hear it. Could you guys hear that? You could hear it? Yeah, Casey and Dad are sighting in their rifles in the backyard, so...
I don't know what that means.
You might hear some gunshots going off.
It means they're, like, getting it correctly.
Range.
Like,
yeah, they
range.
have, like, their scopes. They have to, like, calibrate them. So it's like they put a thing out at 300 yards, and they're like... And then if it's a little high, they calibrate it down a little bit so that the scope hairs are, like, just perfect on the shooting point. And it's loud. Blake was in here, and he didn't know that my dad was out there shooting, because I've done that before, where I didn't know Dad was out here shooting, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, is that a bomb? Oh, Dad's out in the back shooting the guns again. Anyways, it's like a spoonful of sugar helps.
Mary Poppins. I love that part.
And remember when the cannons go off, and he has to
on the top of the house,
and he has to hold all of this, and it's like, what time does it go off? That's the question for the podcast. At what times do the cannons go off in that movie? What's that movie?
Mary Poppins.
Duh. Mary Poppins. Anyway, so welcome to the podcast. Thanks for downloading it on iTunes. We're very happy for the sponsors of this show, Sugar, and specifically a spoonful of it.
A spoonful of sugar helps.
So we appreciate our sponsor, A Spoonful of Sugar, for sponsoring this podcast. And we appreciate you guys for downloading it on iTunes. We're right there at the top of the charts of the kids and family section.
Go down.
The medicine go down, medicine go down. Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine. No?
Yes.
We're done?
Thank you for your support.
All right, so we're back. We have been in Los Angeles for about a week. We were there for the Streamies.
Yes.
Did you shoot Mom's View?
I was there before for the Mom's View, then came back and then left for the Streamies.
It's been a traveling trifecta of tyranny.
It's been a September
travel. I was in D.C. I've been in L.A. like twice. So now we're back. I think we're back for a little while.
Yes.
So we'll be able to be punching these podcasts out nice and quick for you. And let's just get right into it, because we have a few questions here. We always read your tweets. If you follow us on the When the Kids Go to Sleep podcast Twitter, you can follow us there. You can ask us questions. Here's a question from Vandy, our best year yet. She says, don't know if you're taking questions today, but would love to hear your talk about encouraging healthy body image in your kids. What does that mean? I think let's define that first, body image.
I think teaching them to love who they are, but always strive to be healthy and not just have a certain look.
I feel like there's too much caring about what we look like.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
And I think that these are probably a symptom of that
helpful.
because we look at ourselves a lot and we look at other people.
Generation of selfies.
And for some reason, it's just human nature to compare. And it's like, I wish I looked like that. And I am not a good person if I don't look like that.
I think one thing that gave me a wake-up call with that, because I don't know what it is about girls, but I've always been like, oh, I'm fat. I look fat in that. Blah, you know, like being worried about your weight, which we shouldn't have to like consistently be thinking about that all the time and have to look perfect. I stopped buying beauty magazines, and that helped a ton. Because if you're just flipping through those pages, you see all the photoshopped perfectness in there, and you think that you're not good enough. So don't buy those. And a big wake-up call for me was having kids, having daughters. And I thought, oh my gosh, as Avia grew up and she started to say the same things that I said, I realized I cannot bash myself anymore. I cannot look in the mirror and pick myself apart because she will do that exact same thing. So I've stopped calling myself fat. And if I ever do,
Self-esteem police.
Avia and I have the self-esteem police that we have to stop each other when we start picking each other apart or picking ourselves apart. We have to stop each other. So yeah, it's hard.
I
think it starts with you, though.
And maybe we should delve into this a little bit, but there were people that were mad because the girls were wearing shirts underneath their dresses at the Streamies.
They were? I don't think I caught on that.
You should have seen the comments. I saw one comment that said, why do they have to wear shirts under their dresses? It looks ugly. That had like 350 thumbs up on it.
It
Which,
looks ugly. Thanks,
first of all,
guys,
is
for
rude.
picking apart my daughters.
Yes, that is very rude to say that something looks ugly.
Yeah.
But I think that's one thing that we do that I think helps with body image. We don't put a bunch of value on trying to make our bodies look good by showing them off. I think where it's like we encourage them to cover them up in a sense where it's not like it's shameful. Your body's not shameful, but it's like
it's sacred.
We don't want to put that forward as like who you are. You want to put your personality and your words and your intellect forward. You know, that's what is more valuable. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I think that's one thing we do to try to avoid this so much being concerned with how you look and more concerned with how you are presented, you know. Are you humble? Are you kind? Are you, thoughtful? Are you loving? Like those are the things that I want my daughters to be judged and valued for, and not if their cleavage looks good, right? Because
or if they have a shirt under their dress that you think looks ugly.
Right. And it's like
why,
either way, like isn't it
why
the
do you
same
care?
way where it's like, oh, I think their dresses are too short. And we get in so much trouble for saying that, right? Like you can't slut shame, which I agree with. Like I have learned, internet, trust me. I have made mistakes. I have said things that later on I'm like, I probably shouldn't have said that. So like this person who said it looks ugly, like I forgive you. Because I know I've said things like that where I'm like, why are they so short? Can we silence our phones during the podcast?
Sorry.
That's actually one of the rules. I'm not sure if you read the bylaws of the When the Kids Go to Sleep.
I have it on silent, but I
And
also
plus
have
it's
it on
so
vibrate.
unprofessional. I'm not sure if you've been in the actual like production world, but if we're on a set and your phone goes off, if we
that's it. I'm gonna.
that is annoying. Why is that it's set like auto settings to vibrate when you put it on silent. Like when I flip this little button over, I'm like, I want no noise out of this device. So you have to go into settings and turn the vibrate off when you click this.
Yeah, I kind of appreciate. I'm just going to turn it off because I don't want to try to figure out how to do that.
I can show you real quick. I
just
can
do
have
it
it
for
done
me.
literally in 2 seconds.
Thanks, babe.
Anyways, so I think, and I know that's why you're here, because you want to hear what I think. We should stop saying like, we should stop putting people in categories. And like I said, I have made mistakes and I've done that. So we should stop being like, this is good, this is bad, this is ugly, this is pretty. It's like, it's just how it is and it's perfect. It's like everything is just as it should be and it's all exactly right.
I think that you can have control over what you do and you can teach your children what you think. But if you're projecting all of your thoughts on everyone, like, saying, oh, that looks ugly. It's okay for you to be like, well, why are they wearing shirts? That's interesting. But just to like project out there, that is ugly. Like that's just kind of rude, I think.
Yeah, no, it is. It's rude.
If I asked your opinion, what do you think about this? Then maybe
I think you're
that
getting a
would
little
be.
worked up. I think you should calm down.
Well, I think it's rude.
I think you're about ready to fight somebody, and I think you should just
well,
simmer down.
anyways.
I think Danny's getting scared over there.
Yes.
So body image, good question. And I think once again, that, listen, the most important thing about your body is just to get your consciousness around, right? So we want it to be healthy and strong, but, we don't put so much value on how it looks. How do you feel about migrant situation in Europe? I think it sucks. And eventually, I would like a world with no borders, which sounds pretty crazy, but...
Well, if everybody was cool...
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If everybody was cool, we wouldn't
have
fences.
to worry about that.
If everybody's like, listen, but it's just going to take time, It's like, I think the internet's doing that. And I've said it before, but the internet...
It's making the world a smaller place.
It's making it a glass ball. We can all see each other now. And it's like I think there's going to be a meshing, and we are going to lose some cultural uniqueness because we're not going to be stuck in these, vacuums anymore where it's just like, we know what we know and we've known it forever. All of a sudden, people we don't know are going to start coming over and it's just going to be meshing. And I think we're going to become closer to becoming one. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Or we'll all kill each other.
I don't know either.
Great question.
I don't know the answer.
But listen, I'll tell you this.
questions.
I am so blessed and happy and glad and thankful to be a American, born in America.
Yeah.
We say it, but we are so lucky to have the freedoms that we do. And that's why it's like, I just, I'm not, when they're like, we got to build a fence and keep all those people out. I'm like, but think about those poor people. They're like swimming across the ocean with their kids on their back. Like, does that not tell you that something's, hurting over there? Like, let's try to figure out a situation instead of like, let's stack more mortar on top of the walls and get guys with guns out there. Like, there's a way to do it. And I think eventually it'd be great if we didn't have to have states and countries, if we're all just like live on the earth, I was thinking that too, where it's like, I was riding our motorcycle. Like, even when we first, moved to Idaho and we bought this property and stuff, I'd be up here, I'd be like, this is my property. I own this property.
It's my land.
And then I think God's probably like, your property. That's cute, Shay.
That's cute.
Like he invented this, or even just like this, to imagine that you can own the earth. You know what I mean? Like, this is mine. Like, this isn't mine. This was here way before, and it's going to be here after I'm gone. And so, like, how did we get into me owning the earth? What was the question? Oh, Europe. Yeah, we think as man that we can like put up these fences and be like, this is ours, right? Like, this is mine. I go down to the courthouse. They'll tell you there's a piece of paper that we made up. It's like, I always like to like think about current situations in the time when we were cavemen, like when we're all just people trying to survive.
Oh, right.
And then slowly over time, it's like, some people in the cave are like, well, you know what? These people in this cave are annoying. I'm going to go to this cave over here. And it's like, I want this to be my cave, and I don't want you guys coming into my cave, okay? So, like, let's just say that, like, from that tree to that rock to that thing is, like, my area, and you guys stay out. And then it's like, if people would come in, like, I'm going to go in his area, then he would kill him. Be like, no, I said this was my area. And then we're like, well, you can't just be killing people because they're going into your area, so we got to get people to stop people from killing police, So it's like, how did all of that evolve where we've decided that like, oh, we can't have that, so we have to invent something to help us with this. And now it's like, we have all these like...
The order of society.
Like, how many papers did we sign when we went to buy this property? Like a book like this big. Like, what do all those papers mean that we're signing? It's like, we just live here, Anyways, so if you live in a different country and you're not as free and... it sucks. It's plain and simple, right? I don't know. Here's a fun question. If you could witness any event of the past, present, or future, what would it be? And I believe that we will be able to do this one day. Mm-hmm. If you could, like, be there in the flesh and bone and be there, like, in the balcony when Abraham Lincoln gets shot, or you could be there when... Columbus first landed in America,
that'd be cool.
Or the day that Jesus Christ was crucified.
Yeah, crazy.
Which event in history would you pick?
I feel like we were.
See, with our religion, we believe that we lived before we came to this earth. So we believe that we witnessed that. Like when JFK or when Martin Luther King gave his speech, I was in heaven listening. It was like we're tuning in. It was a podcast then, up in heaven.
Yeah.
This is the MLK
really cool.
podcast. They play it on Tuesdays up in Premortal Existence.
Had it in color.
Which is great. It's 4K, but which was rare because it was the 70s.
Yeah, it was really rare.
Anyways, what would you pick? You have to pick an event.
I mean, my first thought is Jesus, maybe his birth.
I would have been there when they invented the pogo stick, but to each their own. Great question. Which event would you be
I also
at?
think it would be cool to see like your ancestors, like where you came from, like the first ancestor that was my bloodline that came over from, to America.
I would love to be in the cockpit of a fighter jet with my grandpa Eugene in Vietnam. Like, how cool would that be to be like in the cockpit with your grandpa, and he doesn't know that you're his grandson. Like maybe you're just like the guy in the back, the co-pilot, right? And like hang out with your grandpa when he was like 20.
But you knew, but he didn't.
I know. Like I'm like, say like I could be me, like a 35-year-old me now, like just me now, and go to, Vietnam, Grandpa Eugene in the fighter jet, dropping napalm. Like, what would that be like to have conversations with the man who would have my dad, who would have me? That's interesting. I drove past my dad the other day. I was driving somewhere, and my dad was driving the opposite direction. And I'm like, Dad, and I waved, and it was like, I was like, oh, that's my dad. Wave, and just kept driving. I'm like, that's my dad. Like that's where my body came from. Like that's me. That's me. I am him, right? Like I came from him. It's like it's a weird thing to just think that I just drove by that guy.
Like, hey, Dad.
Yeah. Once again, what are we talking about?
We get distracted easily.
Any event. That was a great question by Chad, which is Vandy's husband.
Oh, yeah.
You guys
Hi,
quit
guys.
hogging up all the questions.
You can hog up the questions.
I didn't even realize
if
that
they're good questions,
till after I
then you
looked.
might as well hog them up.
Yep. Anyways, next question. Clinton Shay, do you all still go to church? Has your spiritual life changed? You don't post much about God anymore. Sad. Says
That's
Chili
interesting.
Pepper. Well, we're going to hell. I don't know. We do. We talk about Jesus. Hallelujah. I don't know.
I mean, when it comes up.
Here's what annoys me. I guarantee you that like the people who hate us because we're conservative Mormon people annoy me just as bad as the people who think that we're not being Jesus-y enough. It's like,
right.
Leave us alone. Let us just be us, Like, why is there a right or a wrong? And, I guarantee you, like, when I wore the dress in that video, I guarantee you there's people who are mad about that.
Because it was TRIXIN?
No, because it was like, I'm like dressing in drag.
Oh.
Like the Caitlyn Jenner. Like I saw so many tweets. It's like, like, oh, somebody was accusing me of being, what is it called? Transgender phobic.
Because you dressed
Because
in
I put,
drag?
like how transphobic can you get, Shay? I'm like, because I wore a dress? I don't know.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
I don't know.
People
I don't get it either.
stuff. People say stuff. So,
I don't get
like we believe in God and Jesus, and we like to make funny skits and dresses. So deal with it.
Yeah, we cool. Is that cool?
We cool? Is that cool?
Yeah.
You cool with it?
It's not like we have a checklist, like, oh, we got to make sure we mention this.
Did
and
you
this.
say
It's just
Jesus enough times today?
When it comes up and we feel the feels to like say it, then we will. But no worries. Yeah, we go to church. We like it. Amen.
I don't. I just go because my wife makes me.
We do go really early in the morning.
Dude, we have to be at church at 8:30. And it's like a half an hour drive to get to our church. So that means we get up on Sunday mornings at 7 a.m. See?
Holla.
And if that ain't showing Jesus we love him, I don't know what is. So get off my back on the tweets. When the kids go to sleep, do you ever read fan fiction stories about your family when you were bored? No. And I think that creeps me out, to be quite honest.
Wait, fan fiction
Yeah,
stories?
people like write stories about us that didn't really happen. Like they want to like write their own script about our lives. So they'll like write like, anyways.
Interesting. Nope.
Yeah. We don't do that. We're just going to the questions, I guess.
I mean, I guess I could look on my phone. I'm paranoid to use my phone now.
Why? Because
it's going to make noises.
No, I changed it. I fixed it for you.
Thanks for fixing it for me.
I put it on silent.
Thanks for fixing it for me.
Okay, so another question we have here on the board is, how can wives be more supportive to their husband's Rocket League goals? Which I think is a great question that a lot of people have been asking.
I wonder.
Clay, you want to take that one?
Well, Rocket what?
Rocket League, it's a new video game sweeping the nation. All 7.3 billion people in the world have heard about it, except for you.
I'd say I'm pretty supportive.
But the question is, how can you be more supportive to their husbands?
Daddy's looking at me like, I really want to know.
He looks very anxious. He's been like,
what's she gonna say? He's writing,
and then
taking notes.
That's followed up by, how can Rocket League make you a better dad? Which there's so many, we'd have to do like a whole separate podcast to cover all of the ways.
Hey, I think
when me and Gavin are up here playing Rocket League on a team, and me and Gavin are rolling as the blue team, that builds camaraderie, teamwork, strength, and union.
Here's what I will say about Rocket League. I'm grateful that it's Rocket League and that it's not a shooting game, because I don't really care for those. And I think it is a bonding thing.
It is.
For you and whoever of your children wants to play it. I tried it. I get very competitive and frustrated. So I think, why am I even trying to learn this? It's not worth my time. I need to go do the laundry.
You got to be more patient. You got to put some time and effort into it.
I just get really frustrated.
I'm
like, I can't. Why is he over there and I can't? I'm trying to get over there.
Which is so funny, because that is like one of our very first dates, is when I found that this little sweet, innocent brunette is a very feisty, competitive jerk.
I think that a jerk?
That wasn't our first date. What date was that? When we went with Derek,
you have to back up. I am not.
I'm just kidding.
Maybe feisty and competitive.
Feisty.
But a jerk?
Not a jerk. Feisty.
Yeah.
Don't put so much value on words. It's just like whatever, some consonants and a vowel in the middle, whatever.
Don't put so much value on words.
I don't know. I just don't want to be in trouble.
Yeah.
Question: when was that? Was that like our second date?
I don't think it was our second date. I think
it was close to one of our very first dates, right?
One of the very first. I don't know.
We went to this game place in Utah with our friends, and there was this shooting game. And
I was
what were
so
we
frustrated.
It was like,
I don't remember, but
anyways, and it was still to the point where we didn't know each other very well yet. So it was still like we were just very new. And I'm like, this chick's getting pissed off.
Well,
like,
would you say that I'm typically a very competitive person?
Yeah.
Really?
But
I feel like it's only in like games.
Yeah, it is in games.
But like in life, I never feel like, oh, I got to be better than that person.
That's true. I don't feel like you do that.
When I'm playing a game, it's like, this is not worth my time. I can't even play it.
I think you get frustrated too quickly that you're not good at it, you know? And so it's like, you just got to be
Because I kind of feel like games are like movies to me. If it's not a good movie, I'm not enjoying it, then it's not worth my time. And if I can't do it, then it's not worth my time. But I have to be patient, because that's how you learn how to do things. It's not a great
tried
attitude.
it, I couldn't do it, I quit.
It's not a great attitude. I'm not saying it's a great attitude. We're talking about
So here's what we're going to do to work on that. After this podcast, we're going to go put in 2 hours of intense Rocket League training.
I can't do that.
Babe, you don't have 5 kids. You know, none of that stuff exists. Only our Rocket League time exists.
Only Rocket League.
Yes, my love.
I think if I can consciously just relax and realize.
That's it. You can't get too emotional.
Like, okay.
You can't get worked up in the game.
Okay,
we're wrapping it up.
My worth.
We love everybody. I think the purpose of these podcasts is just to try to think out loud and to help encourage and to help motivate and to help discuss how we can be happier and healthier in this life. We don't know all the answers, and maybe we said something today that isn't exactly how we feel 100%, and maybe we'll just, you know.
I did get a little worked up about the shirt under the dress thing. It's not a big deal.
And
I think I just turn into mama bear sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like, that's my daughters. They're beautiful. Blah, blah, blah. You know? Yeah. But anyways, we love you. We love you guys. We love your support. Thanks for tuning in.
That's
Anything else?
We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Download it on iTunes. When the kids are counting sleep. That was a boring ending. We need a better ending. Do something crazy. Get on the table and dance. Dance. All right. Hurry. Seriously. Dance. You can't just pretend like you're not.
Getting on the table, guys. Okay, do you see my tree pants? These are my Christmas tree pants.
Thanks for joining the. Oh! Did the splits. That was like the Jean-Claude Van Damme on the semis.
I got really nervous when he stood up. I was like, he's gonna jump on me.
I pulled a hammy.
Did you just do the splits on the
Yes,
chair?
I did, and they split.
Love you guys. Bye.
We'll stay up, just you and I, and we'll talk about our pretty life when the kids go to sleep.